It's a story very often heard, but we haven't heard her childhood, and this is what I wanted to do, talk about her childhood, and I like the idea of starting where other people, well, in what other people hadn't done. Yeah, well, what I was interested in is seeing how Jeannette becomes Joan of Arc, how it all goes. You know, she's a peasant girl, and she's very much a saint and a martyr. But then, I was interested in the germination process. So, what in her flaming little heart was happening, and how it evolved into Joan of Arc. Yeah, it's exactly that. It's a little heart, flaming heart, and how it reacted to Peggy's poetry. And so what I found fascinating is to see how she would react to Peggy's poetry when she was saying it, and how extraordinary it was, and how fascinating, obscure, and very clear at the same time. So yeah, Charles Péguy is a poet from the end of 19th century, beginning of 20th century, and he was a socialist, he was an atheist, and then he changed and became a Christian, a nationalist, and a Catholic. And in the end, he was even an illuminated mystique. And so he's very connected to Joan of Arc. In fact, they have a strong connection. Yeah, he's the Joan of Arc of poetry. And when he was 20, he wrote a play, a theatre play, which is divided into three parts, and the first one is Don Remy, and the second is Battles, and the third is Rouen, where she was tried. And so I decided to adapt the poetry. So his poetry is totally illuminated. Sometimes you feel a bit not knowing exactly how to react, because it's so beautiful. And so I thought the only way to transpose this was through music, to make us understand in what poetic trance we could get thanks to music. And then the younger generations can access this, can connect to this, can identify to it, because they might have a harder time with Peggy. Inhabituel. Yeah, because Peggy's poetry is very beautiful, but it's a bit obscure sometimes, so we needed something to counterpart this, and this is music, in fact. And so the electro-rock music is balancing, so to speak, the strength of the poetic work. Well, it's a myth, so it's of course set in nature, but at the same time in the marvelous. So anywhere beautiful would do the job of showing how marvelous it is. Yeah, so filming on the shore means being on the verge of something, and poetry is on the verge of heaven. So there are connections, many connections that can be drawn.
Texture.
I love musicals, and especially American musicals, but even French musicals. And the tradition in musical is to do lip sync. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted direct sound, and so this is what we did. We had music played in their ears, and so they would sing a cappella, and this allowed for other sounds to be heard. So the sound of wind, the sound of sheep. Even the sound of clothes being brushed, and the sound of the sea, and all of this is rendering nature, so to speak. And you needed something temporal to mean the a-temporal. And the little girl, she sings sometimes very well and sometimes not so well, but it doesn't matter.
Parce qu'en fait, dans la pièce,
so in the Peggy's work, there's two. I mean, the two time periods. First she's 13 and then 16. I first found the older one, the 13-year-old, but she was too old. I thought she was too old. So I wanted to have a younger one. So this is when I found Lise, who was younger, and so I did that because I wanted to show the change between the little girl to an older girl who eventually would be ready to go to war. So this is the change between childhood to teens, and so the little one is very moving, very touching, with all her flaws, but after an hour of time of film, you know, I thought that I reached the end of this, and so I needed to move forward, to move further and have the bigger Jeanne, and she says at the very end, don't call me Jeannette anymore, call me Jeanne, and so she is ready, she's the new Joan of Arc, ready to go to war. And as I said at the very beginning, from the little heart of the young girl to the flaming heart of Joan of Arc.
Que ça empêche la vue de l'esprit, en fait.
Because I want to fight against the idea of perfection embodied by Hollywood or Italian painting versus Flemish painting. Because in Hollywood or in Italian painting, they do it so perfectly that it's ideal, yes. Whereas Flemish painting is painting man as it is, with all its imperfections. And because for Hollywood and the Italian painting, God is a hero, whereas for Flemish painting, God is man. And so that makes all the difference in the world. And so this is why this is what I fight, is Hollywood films or Hollywood ideal films or even main French films. And this is what Bergson says is, being is in the process of being. I'm sorry if the translation is not very good. And so this is the Hollywood archetype, and I fight against this. What I love is nature as it is becoming nature, as it is in the process of being. And so perfection is sometimes switching to imperfection and becoming perfection again, and this is the trajectory that I like. And so I like accidents, I like grittiness, I like when it's not exactly, you know, smooth, because that's life. So this is why when I did Life of Jesus, I filmed a very ordinary man who's not very good either, who's becoming God, or in the process of becoming God, or quite, not quite. So this is why when the little girl, when she speaks to God, she looks at the audience, at you, because there's no God. You are God. Yeah.
Non, elle passe par la nation.
Yeah, so it's through nation that you get to the universal. And so Peggy is not a nationalist, and Joan of Arc isn't either. She just wants to save the damned people around her. So she has a much bigger vision than that, and she cannot be reduced to a nationalist way of thinking. And she's doing it at her current time, so helping people in her country.
Passe par le présent, donc il faut quand même qu'elle agisse dans son pays.
But it's a universal thought. It's not a thought that can be reduced to a nationalist way of thinking. But she loves her nation, and that goes through that, loving your nation. And in fact, I can love France, and thanks to my love of nation, I can love other people around me. And so you need to love your own country. This is where the far-right people stop. They only see that part of it. Whereas Peggy says you need to go further, and you need to have, in fact, he's a humanist, is not a nationalist, and then you can find the real in the local situation. So I choose someone very ordinary.
C'est faire un choix de quelqu'un de particulier, d'ordinaire, parce que du coup, il possède le particulier, l'ordinaire nécessaire pour faire naître ça. Donc c'est trouver la terre pour mettre la graine. Donc, si vous enlevez la terre, vous n'avez pas la graine. C'est une nécessité de choisir une petite fille comme celle-là, j'aurais pu en prendre une autre. Mais elle renvoie quelque chose, c'est comme un vent contraire pour s'élever. Si j'ai pas de vent, je peux rien faire. Donc, il faut quand même que j'ai un vent contraire. Donc il faut que je me porte contre elle et qu'elle me donne sa propre nature. Le particulier, le local dont je parlais, c'est l'acteur amateur. D'accord, il a une manière d'être, il a une affinité, il a quelque chose d'incomplet et j'ai besoin de ça, c'est l'acteur. Alors qu'un acteur professionnel, il est vierge, c'est une page blanche, il est prêt à tout, mais moi j'ai pas besoin de ça. Il y a des choses que la petite ne savait pas faire, et ben elle m'empêche de le faire, c'est bien, j'ai besoin d'empêchement. Donc elle donne du particulier, et c'est dans ce
thanks to the miracle of cinema and film.
No. Is that actually her heartbeat from the mic?
Oui, c'est le micro.
That was amazing. I was so moved by that. That wasn't a question. I just thought that I never seen anything like that in cinema.
C'est le son direct.